Hi everyone, Dave Moshe here, and what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about Neo Ventilator, and the main thing is how does it really sound. So basically it's the little box that you see here, and this is a very old, probably even 15 years old. I'm not sure when the first model was released. But most of the models were purchased about 10 years ago. This is a second hand, and this is an XK-5. My goal is here to show you, do I need to carry Leslie? Or I can just get away with it. Well, that's a good question, because I mean, I used to have a Leslie. I actually once had a beautiful 122, this huge beast, and that was a present from my dad. And unfortunately, I just sold it a while ago, so it doesn't matter anymore. But then I purchased and lived with Leslie 2101, the MK1, which was the first version of that series, and it works well. It has real horn spinning. There is so the bass rotary system. It's digital, reproduced digital on that one, and it works pretty okay. I mean, it's a great Leslie, but it's not quite what you really expect from a real physical Leslie. So I said to myself one day, okay, every time I have 1 gig a week, okay? I'm a basic player. I'm not a top pro, and I don't do that really for living. But I love music. I love this beast, and I spend quite a lot of money on this one. Not because it's absolutely the best. I'm not saying that. This is a very good Hammond. Some people may prefer the MOTU, which is actually even a lot cheaper, and you definitely get a very good sound out of it. Right, but the discussion, okay, I think the MOTU is more like you get everything ready out of the box. And here it's a bit different, okay? If you combine this machine with the real Leslie, I don't think you can get anything better out there. But obviously, I mean, I'm not trying to say Hammond, it's the best, you have to purchase this. Because this, we're talking about 5,000 or 6,000 euros gear here, between if you would consider the upper manual, the lower manual, I think it's called the F100 expression pedal with the Leslie switch. Just that pedal, it cost new about 280 euros. That's lots of money for a pedal. So I got this second hand, and we have value here, at least here in the Netherlands. I am based in Europe. I think I spent around about, so the lower is actually new from a local online shop called Bax Music, and it cost me 1,700, and the top is 2,000. So as you can see, I mean, there is almost 4,000 euro on the table here, but it's new. Basically, I got a great deal. I got the top only for 2,000 euro. But you have to think, the upper manual is a 3,300 euros. So if you want to buy new everything, we are talking about 5,000 altogether, perhaps a bit more. So well, that's a general explanation of what is the setup. Now the goal of this video is, how do I get that good Leslie sound? Can I get away with it? Well, I cannot. I have to carry the Leslie. Well, I don't know. We're gonna, I'm not gonna play it right now live. I already prepared 2 recording, okay? So I'm using, you can't see it, but it's just down below here. It's not a Leslie, it's just a Roland amp, a normal standard Roland keyboard amp, okay? Now this thing is connected with a jack cable from the back. So basically the connection goes out of the XK-5 into the ventilator. This is the Neo Ventilator 1, by the way, and from the Neo Ventilator you run a cable into the Roland amp in one of the channels. You can use any other keyboard amp, okay? You can replicate the same test if you like. Now this is not a comparison between a real Leslie and the onboard Leslie here. It's actually the other way around, the onboard Leslie and the Neo Ventilator, because this tutorial is for the people that are still carrying their Leslie and perhaps they are getting fed up on carrying. It's quite heavy equipment, so can I get away with it? Perhaps you can. So the demonstration is how good it sounds. So from the gear point of view, this pedal is recognized as one of the best pedals. Now there is a new version. This is the old version. Now there is one of this. I don't know if it's the myth and the legend created on the background by people, but they said that this version, which is mono, is actually better than anything else, better than the new model. I don't know that. I may agree, I may not agree. There is a few things because I've been, you know, I'm not a sound engineer, but I studied some course and I got a certification. Well, now reproducing a Leslie sound is quite difficult because there is a lot of dynamic, and these people, they did a very good job. Does he sound exactly the same as a real Leslie, and we're talking about as a real 122 Leslie? Perhaps the real truth there, it's not, okay? You can't quite reproduce the air movements in a room, for example, or even a live situation. It's very difficult. But this one actually does it a great job. You can actually hear the whoa, 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 whoa sound. You know what I mean? You know, the spinning. And the mono, which is this pedal, was built in a way to match perfectly with a keyboard amp, which is also mono, okay? A Roland, it's mono, okay? So why would you need to spend a 500 euro on the new Neo Ventilator and connect it as a stereo? Yeah, well, the Roland has mono and right connection on each channel, but it's not really a true stereo because you still have one speaker. So it's actually then rectified internally into a mono when it comes out the sound. So there is no really the stereo true effect. Now it is true that if you can connect two Roland amp in stereo, or you can buy even there is a big version, the KC-990 I believe, that is actually stereo, huge. It's very expensive. I think it's 1,200 euros that one. And if you buy that one, perhaps you can get a full dynamic. And when you connect it in stereo and you want to record live yourself, then that might worth it, and it's probably the best. But still, I think we are going a little too far. This little thing, this little box, the Neo Ventilator 1, was built to actually work perfectly on mono. And at that time, in the 70s, in the 60s, let's call you know, the era where all those bands were playing, and you know, Procol Harum, the Deep Purple, John Lord, everything was mono. John Lord was connecting his gear into a guitar amp. It was bypassing the Leslie sometimes, or sometimes it was connecting the Leslie, but everything was still on mono. So going mono here is perfectly valid. Okay, now there are a few things that you need to know about this little box, and then we're gonna jump into the test. The test consists in two recordings of Procol Harum, and of course I'm not gonna show you the video of the entire song, but I'm gonna take two parts. One of the parts that runs into a slow motion of the lazily, where you can hear the lazily in slow, and basically it's most of the song it's on a slow version. And then there is a part where actually the tension builds up, and you go with a glissando right and left, and you grab a chord at the end, and when you grab that chord, you basically activate the fast lazily just before that, actually, and then we can hear that part too. So I'm gonna take a section of some seconds of the slow part, and another amount of few seconds, let's say like probably 20 or 30 seconds of the part that is running on fast lazily, so that you can hear how it sounds on slow lazily and fast lazily with this little box. And then you're gonna see the same recording, the same song, the same equipment, the same XK-5, the same Roland amp, but just with onboard simulator. And then you're gonna write below in the comments what you think about it. How does it sound better? Do I need to purchase this, or I can actually even get away with the onboard lazily? Because the onboard lazily on the XK-5 is quite good, but how good that is, okay? There is one hint I can already give you, and then you judge the rest on the video yourself. And I hope the recording will be good enough to actually hear the spinning, the air movement, the whoa, 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 whoa of the lazily, especially when it goes fast. Now, on the recording, on both, I enhanced on purpose the sound of the organ itself. So there is a backing track, and the sound that is coming out from the lazily, from the keyboard, so basically the sound of the Hammond itself, it's a bit over the top, I would say, a bit too high compared with the backing track. So basically the backing track is my band, and the organ is a bit too loud, let's say. But why I did that? To allow you to hear the difference in between the two recording, with the lazily Neo Ventilator and without, okay? And basically you're gonna tell me, you're gonna be the judge, okay? You're gonna put some comments, please, below, and you're gonna tell me, well, the onboard lazily sounds good enough, or you're gonna deny this statement and you're gonna say, no, that Neo Ventilator is what we want. And let's see, we're gonna see how. So and then the conclusion is, can I get away with a Neo Ventilator and leave my my real lazily home, or even sell it? Maybe I don't need it anymore. Can I get away with it and use the Neo Ventilator, which I believe is a nice piece of gear. So let's go. The first recording you're gonna hear is with the Neo Ventilator, okay? And you're gonna hear one part in slow and the next part fast, and you're gonna see on the video slow and fast. You're gonna see that, what you're gonna hear anyway. And then there is me coming back, and I'm gonna tell you now this is the next part. There you go.
Skip the line, fandango. Turn cartwheels across the floor. I was feeling kinda seasick. The crowd going down for more. The moon was humming harder.
back, and now I'm gonna play the same video, the same song, and this time with the XK-5 onboard Leslie. Here we go. Okay, welcome back. Now you heard both video, both sounds, and you're gonna tell me what you think. Well, that's important. I want to hear your opinion, and it is important that you may use some headphones to actually hear the sound, and then just write some comments below and let me know. Thanks very much for watching this. And if you like it, please subscribe and leave a comment as well, okay? That's important. Thank you very much. Bye-bye now.